Welcome. Take a slow, easy breath and let it go. You have carried so much today. Thoughts that raced, worries that circled, conversations that replayed long after they ended. The noise of a demanding world has followed you here, into this quiet space. It feels tangled sometimes, like a mind that never quite settles. But you are here now, and that is enough. There is an ancient secret the Stoics knew. Not a trick, not a forced silence. Something quieter, deeper. A way to dissolve the chaos without fighting it. A way to step back from the storm of overthinking and rest in a place that cannot be disturbed. Marcus Aurelius wrote of this place. Seneca pointed toward it. Epictetus lived inside it. They called it the inner Citadel. A fortress of calm that no external event can breach. Tonight we will walk toward it together. Gently, without force. Simply by remembering what's always been yours. Feel the weight of the day begin to loosen its grip. There's nowhere else you need to be. No problem that must be solved in this moment. The mind has worked hard enough. Now it can soften. Let your shoulders drop. Let the breath move on its own. You are safe here, held by the simple truth that the chaos outside has never owned the quiet inside you. We will not battle the thoughts. We will not push them away. We will simply see them for what they are. Passing weather across a sky that remains clear. And as we do, something ancient and steady will begin to rise. A stillness that does not depend on the day going well. A clarity that does not require the world to change. This is the secret. Not control over everything. Only the quiet recognition of what is already free. Rest here for a moment. Breathe. Allow the first layer of the day's noise to drift a little farther away. You are beginning to remember. The world has a way of convincing us that its noise is our noise. Traffic that never stops. Messages that demand answers. Expectations that pile higher than the hours in a day. It all feels so close, as if every urgency outside has already entered the quiet rooms of the mind. But the Stoics saw through this illusion. Epictetus taught that some things are up to us, and some things are not. The opinions of others, the outcomes of plans, the weather of the day. These move according to their own nature. They are not ours to command, and yet how often the mind reaches for them, gripping, analyzing, replaying, as if holding tighter could somehow rearrange what was never in its hands. Tonight we release that grip. Imagine the external world as a great river flowing past the place where you rest. Cars, conversations, unfinished tasks. They move along the current. You do not need to step into the water. You do not need to shout at the current to slow down. You simply watch it pass. Feel how much energy has been spent trying to manage what was never truly manageable. The mind has been working overtime, believing that if it just thought hard enough, planned carefully enough, worried thoroughly enough, the chaos would settle. It never does. Not that way. The chaos was never the problem. The belief that we must carry it was. Take a breath now. Slow and unforced. As you breathe out, picture one small piece of the day's noise floating downstream. A conversation that still echoes. A decision that still feels unresolved. A worry about tomorrow. Let it drift. It does not need your attention in this moment. You are not abandoning responsibility. You are reclaiming the one thing that was always yours. The power to choose where your awareness rests. The Stoics called this the distinction between what belongs to the mind and what belongs only to the world. When we confuse the two, the mind becomes crowded. When we remember the difference, space opens, quiet returns, order begins to rise from within. Rest in that space for a little while. The river continues outside. You remain here, unhurried, already freer than the day allowed you to feel. There's a place inside you that the day cannot reach. The Stoics called it the inner citadel. Not a wall of stone, not a fortress built against the world. Something far quieter. A center of awareness that remains untouched no matter what storms pass outside its gates. Marcus Aurelius returned to this place again and again. In the noise of the imperial court, amid illness and war and endless demands, he reminded himself, the mind can choose its own weather. The citadel does not depend on favorable conditions. It exists because you exist. It has always been here. Feel yourself settling a little deeper now. The body grows heavier in the most gentle way. The breath continues on its own. Soft, steady, requiring nothing from you. This citadel is not something you must build tonight. It is something you remember. A quiet room that has waited patiently while the mind rushed from one thought to the next. You do not force the door open. You simply stop racing past it. Notice how the thoughts that still drift through do not disturb this place. They appear, they speak, they fade, like clouds crossing a wide sky. The sky does not chase the clouds, it does not argue with them. It remains open and clear beneath every weather. That is the nature of the citadel. It does not fight the chaos, it outlasts it. Seneca wrote that true peace is not the absence of disturbance, but the presence of a mind that no longer needs the disturbance to end. You can feel the beginning of that presence now, a soft steadiness rising beneath the surface noise, a quiet that does not demand silence from the world, only recognition from you. Let your awareness rest here for a few breaths. No effort, no goal. Just the simple knowing that this center has never left you. The day could not take it. The worries could not shrink it. It waits, as it always has, for the moment you choose to return. You are returning now. The walls of the citadel are not made of resistance. They are made of understanding. Understanding that most of what troubled the mind today was never required to be carried this far into the night. Rest inside this knowing. Let it hold you. Thoughts arrive like uninvited guests. Some are useful, most are not. Yet the mind has the strange habit of offering them a seat, pouring them tea, and listening for hours as if every visitor deserved a full hearing. The Stoics practiced something different. They learned to meet each thought at the threshold and ask a simple question. Does this belong to me right now? Is this within my power, or is it merely passing through? You can begin that gentle inquiry tonight. As a thought appears, notice it. You do not need to push it away or follow it down every path it wants to travel. Simply see it. Name it softly if you wish. Worry, planning, replay, judgment. Then let it continue on its way without an escort. This is not suppression. Suppression tightens the mind. This is recognition. Recognition loosens everything. Epictetus taught that we are disturbed not by things, but by the views we take of them. The view can change. The thought can be set down. The mind can return to its natural stillness the way a lake returns to calm after the wind has passed. Feel the difference already beginning. Each time you choose not to chase a thought, a little more space opens, a little more quiet settles into the body. The nervous system, which has been braced for the next demand, starts to understand that no demand is coming. Not here, not now. You are reclaiming the most intimate form of control. The ability to decide where attention rests. Not control over the content of every thought. Control over whether the thought becomes the master of the moment. Breathe into that freedom. Let the breath itself become a quiet reminder. In, the Citadel is here. Out, the thought does not own the silence. Some thoughts will return. That is their nature. You do not fail when they reappear. You simply meet them again with the same gentle clarity. Over and over until the habit of chasing begins to dissolve on its own. This is the practice the Stoics carried into every hour of the day. Tonight you carry it into the softest hours of the night. No force, no perfection, only the steady return to what has always been free. Rest in that return. Let the mind grow quieter by degrees. You are learning the ancient art of leaving thoughts where they belong, outside the gates of the Citadel. The day is finished. Everything that needed your effort has already received it. Everything that remains unfinished can wait until morning light. The mind has done its work. Now it is allowed to rest. Feel how far you have traveled in this quiet space. From the crowded weight of the day to the recognition that most of that weight was never yours to carry. To the discovery of the Citadel that has always stood open inside you. To the gentle reclaiming of attention itself. You are no longer fighting the chaos. You are resting beyond it. Let the body grow heavier still. The arms, the legs, the face, all softening into the surface that holds you. Gravity becomes a kind of kindness. The mattress, the pillows, the quiet air, they support without asking anything in return. The breath moves slower now, deeper, unhurried. Each inhale gathers a little more stillness. Each exhale releases what no longer needs to stay. Thoughts may still drift across the surface of awareness, but they have lost their urgency. They pass like distant lights on a road you are no longer traveling. This is the secret the Stoics guarded so carefully. Not the absence of thought, not the perfection of silence. Simply the knowledge that the mind can return, again and again, to a place the world cannot disturb. A place that does not depend on the day going well or the night remaining perfectly quiet. A place that belongs only to you. Marcus Aurelius ended many of his private writings with a return to this truth. That the soul can choose its own peace. That the present moment, stripped of unnecessary judgment, is always enough. That sleep itself can become a practice of release. You are practicing that release now. There is nothing left to solve, nothing left to rehearse, nothing left to defend. The Citadel stands open and quiet. You are already inside it. Allow the last remaining tension in the shoulders to melt. Allow the jaw to soften. Allow the eyes to rest deeply behind closed lids. The darkness is gentle. The silence is kind. If a thought rises, meet it with the softest recognition and let it go. You do not need to follow. You do not need to answer. You are free to remain here, in the vast, unshaken quiet that was always waiting beneath the noise. Sleep is not something you must achieve. It is something you allow. The body knows the way. The mind, no longer required to stand guard, can finally lay down its weapons. Rest now in the ancient knowing that you are safe, that the chaos of the day has no claim on this moment, that the stillness you feel rising is not temporary. It is your nature remembering itself. Let go a little more, and a little more still. The night holds you, the Citadel holds you. Nothing is required. You may sleep deeply, completely, without resistance. The mind is quiet. The heart is steady. The day is done. Rest.